Homeowners of Reddit, when you purchased your first home, what item did you not think about that ended being very useful to you? The seller of our home gave us a binder with all the receipts of the appliances, their user guides and also paint card with names and number of each shade of paint used in each room. They also included the make and model number of sink faucets, tub faucets and shower in the bathroom so that we could find a match in case something needed to be replaced, and also menus of local restaurants which do delivery. As we were moving in from a neighboring town, that was really helpful information too. An item I never see listed but I use a lot, a big container of zip ties. Adding on, a gallon bucket of binder clips, miles and miles of rope and twine in varying thicknesses, miles and miles of duct tape, more bungee cords than you ever think you'll use, too many tarps. Honestly about $10,000, because that first few months is going to be very expensive as there isn't one thing you need but about 200. If you lived in an apartment you might not have things like ladders, lawn mowers and such. Truth. I think I made a trip to Lowe's or Home Depot for some needed item every single day for about the first 2 weeks. A few months later and I think I'm still making weekly trips. A dolly. The few times you need it, it's so awesome. Also, your back will thank you kindly, so will any handyman you hire in the future to help with heavy stuff. I can confirm that a dolly is a wonderful, highly useful thing, right up until the movers decide that it's theirs and you never see that lovely dolly again. Check for cell signal. My house is a black hole and it's frustrating. A level. Told my dad I bought a house. First thing he did it walk down to his basement and come back with a level. Use it all the dang time. But the guy who said tarp is correct. Tarp, tarp, tarp. If you have to replace a toilet, get an elongated bowl instead of a round one. Also always buy a separate wax ring. A carbon monoxide detector. Seriously, there was a bad gas line in the oven. The best advice I got for tools is to buy the cheapest one, within reason, and if you ever manage to wear it out then buy a nice one. I would say that's good advice for most things except hammers and shovels. Also screwdrivers because cheap ones have softer tips than some screws. You have $8 worth of carpet? Buy the $300 carpet cleaner so you don't live on a dirty rag. Everyone really needs a shop vac at some point and will be happy you own when you need it. Shop vacs should come with every baby. First time your baby projectile pukes across the whole house you'll understand. A ladder. The ceilings were too high for me to change light bulbs fixtures with just a step stool. This is one of my go-to housewarming gifts for close friends. A small and sturdy stepladder is exactly the kind of thing you forget you need until you need it. My husband fixed a leak in his brother's ceiling while sitting on his brother's shoulders because they didn't have a stepladder available. The more expensive, industrial or commercial water hose. I've been through so many leaky hoses. Changed my life when I spent the extra $20. I love me some loppers. Handles all of your cutting anything outside needs. Always keep those empty 5-gallon paint buckets. Standard big bucket you can buy at the store will work till you start painting your house and end up with more of the 5-gallon ones than you know what to do with. They're so useful. A comically long extension cord. Longer than your property with yards to spare. Flash forward to the first night in the house. We're schlepping boxes all dang day, moving furniture 2 or 3 pieces at a time with a borrowed pickup. We naturally miss the knock on the door from the hydro company. That absurdist extension cord served its most important function that day, because we were able to plug in at the neighbor's house and run it into a power bar in our living room so we could have some lamps, coffee maker, and the ability to cook with a crock pot and or an electric griddle until hydro got sorted out. A toilet plunger. Until you know your new home's plumbing, look out. Also, those flushable wipes that you've been getting away with at your old place probably won't move along at the new place and you'll end up learning to use a snake or calling a plumber. Not an item but caulking any gaps from the floor to ceiling to prevent heat loss in the winter. Close those gaps and it can save you a good chunk of money in the winter time. Flashlight with extra batteries. A fire extinguisher. This should be a priority but people don't think of it. A plunger. It amazes me how many homes and offices don't have one in or near their bathrooms. Have a plunger and toilet brush in every bathroom. If a guest clogs the toilet or leaves a skid mark, don't want them having to ask me where these are located. They can take care of it on their own. Potentially less embarrassing. A tarp. Extremely underrated. Got a big pile of leaves in the front that you wanna move to the back? Slide it around on a tarp. Did your grill cover blow away in the storm last night? Cover it with a tarp. Have a broken screen panel on your screened-in porch from the same storm? Hang that tarp. Need a drop cloth while you paint your kitchen? You get yourself a tarp. Need to catch branches on the ground while you prune your trees? Get a bucket. Just kidding, get a tarp. Phew, that last one scared me for a sec there. A brush to clean the coils under your refrigerator. If your fridge is running a lot or not getting cold, it's probably because the coils have a nice blanket of fuzz preventing heat transfer. Gets worse faster if you have pets that shed as well. One key. Have all your door locks set to the same key. And change all the locks when you move in. No telling who has keys to the existing locks. A quality, very portable air compressor, nailers, staplers, ratchet tools, pressure washers, paint tools, tires. They all work with a good air compressor. Everything clicked once I had an air compressor. Wet dry vac. So useful and inexpensive. Powdered graphite, because WD-40 is not the proper lubricant for locks. Oil will gum up the inside of the lock while the graphite just leaves a little dust on your key the first few times you use it. We'll also have to add TFE. Silicone oil works well for most things. Not likely to gum up and is very resistant to moisture in my experience. And Tree Flow, which I have only used at work but is great. Pay for that house inspection before buying. Yes, it costs a little bit, but will save you from a lot of surprises soon after purchasing. Shop vac. Good for cleaning up drywall dust. Get the right filter when you're painting, cleaning up messes, and even unclogging a toilet. When I sold my house, I gave the buyer measurements of all the windows and all warranty paperwork, roof, furnace, windows, etc. I also provided a list of all house quirks. Example, our garage opener sensor was askew ever so slightly, so when you pulled in on the right side spot you had to aim the opener to the left. This may sound stupid, but it will save them a crap ton of aggravation. Another example, we had lovebirds nest in our front hedges. They would come every year and lay eggs. When that happens, they get very defensive of their space, which made our front door pretty much unusable. We didn't mind, but they might, so we left information on who to call to relocate them. A local nature center will come and do it for free. We also provided our garden and plant information. We had a pretty decent garden and nice little flower arrangements. We also provided the name of our landscaper, handyman, roofer, the kid's number to call to shovel snow in the winter, plumber, furnace people, oil company we used, and other oil companies in the area for bids. I tried to provide everything I was not provided when we bought the house. A pantry. Our first house didn't have one, and we were so excited about the house we never even noticed until we signed the contract and moved in. It was a real hassle not having one. Closet space on the first floor. It's not exactly what you meant by your question, but it never occurred to me to think about before buying. We have one small coat closet. Another utility closet would make logistics much easier. Also, never buy medium duty hose. The hundreds of extra kinks are not worth the $10 I saved. Knowledge of home repairs. You'll learn. Start with the end product of each area and work backwards in your education, like painting, then drywall finishing, then drywall hanging, then general framing. It helps to know what comes underneath when you understand the hiccups you've experienced getting the next piece correct. Volunteer at Habitat for Humanity. Then, it's just amassing lots of tools. Then, you'll be able to look at your entire home as something that's easily attainable in repairing. This hit me when my sister asked for help reshingling her roof. When we got into it, we discovered some minor rot in the sheathing and a few rafters, and it was no big deal just to rip them out and replace them during the job. Besides a home inspection, get a full chimney inspection. They send a camera up the chimney to inspect for cracks. It will probably cost me more than $5,000 to fix a chimney. This is especially true if it's a wood-burning chimney. A notebook for house repairs and renewing. As the years go by, it can be really hard to track all the things you do, and when you did them, was there a 1-year warranty on that window replacement? Or 2-year? When did the furnace get serviced last? We're currently dealing with a huge tunneling under our yard with the city due to drain issues, and also had work done 7 years ago. Trying to remember what and where the city and plumber Doug did back then is causing some issues now. Take notes, new homeowners of Reddit. Lots of notes. Get a big tub of decent white paint. Don't get the cheapest paint or brushes. Get lots of masking tape and make sure the edges are perfect or you will be staring at your mess for years. I found a laser measure tool to be invaluable but also a very good tape measure too. Get a notepad and measure the frick out of each room. Remember to account for skirting boards and that your walls might not be plumb vertically straight. Get some decorators overalls too. Overshoe covers and high quality decorators protective covers. A toolbox to fill with basic tools. Treat yourself to a good vacuum cleaner but don't ruin it by sucking up plaster, rubble or ashes. IKEA sells some good tools for moving large heavy items, such as the fractor trolley. Get a craft knife as you're gonna have lots of cardboard to cut up and recycle too. You will collect lots of documents, receipts for appliances, instruction manuals, home documents etc, so get some box files and label them up. Get a pack of velcro cable ties too. Great for all the wires you're gonna be feeding around for TV, Hi-Fi etc. For your most important documents, get a fire safe. Water key. It's the little key you use to open the tiny manhole cover that connects your house's water to the city line. When you get it open, you can disconnect your house from water pressure. I've been able to fix a lot of things with that off. I would add to this, know where your shutoffs are for water and gas. Mine are both in my basement, but some have them outside. This is a little different and unorthodox. I bought the cheapest plug-in appliance I could find to check all the power points in the house. That $8 clock radio was the best thing I ever bought. Used it for years and since it died I have been looking for one to replace it but haven't been able to find the right one. A bidet. I now think using paper is unhygienic and kinda gross. I haven't felt this good about my butthole ever. A bidet is just so freaking good. I took the plunge and bought one of the fancy ones, with a heated seat and remote control and multiple settings. I'm here to tell you, when that thing gets going, it's like it's cleaning your insides. It's amazing. I won't poop anywhere else but home now. High quality toilets. We've purchased a couple of homes now and the first thing I do is install chair height toilets that are basically uncloggable. Most starter homes have builder grade toilets that are very low and clog with anything more than 2 sheets of toilet paper in them. To be completely honest, there's nothing worse than having a house guest clog a toilet. Lowe's makes a great chair height toilet for $100 that comes with everything you need to install it. Best $100 you can invest in a house. Hands down. Haven't used a plunger in 10 years. This is a bigger item but if you have a Crawlspace, encapsulate that crap. Don't go the cheap route either. I spent $18k to get mine done. This also included 2 sump pumps and 7 brand new smart sanctions, and the energy saving alone was about $100 a month. Plus it removes radon and prevents mold from growing on your subfloor. Destroy your subfloor. Worth every penny. Money, seriously, you'll spend easy $500, $1,000 the first week exchanging locks, buying curtains, rods, etc. SHHH. Like this video, but quietly so you don't wake up the sleeping papa. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check out another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.